Good morning. So I've got my horizon line quite near the top of my page today. And we're going to do 1 point perspective, but from a different point. So we started in the centre yesterday, so I'm going to do one from this side. And you can do it that side if you wish. So everything's going to disappear to this vanishing point. So it's going to slowly get smaller towards this one today. So I'm going to draw some lines in. I'm going to draw 5, I think. 2, all from that vanishing point. 3, 4, do one more, just so I can sketch in some things. I've looked at a picture of the Hogwarts Express because how much I love Harry Potter, and I thought I'd get some drawings in to show how we could potentially draw a train. So first thing I'm going to do is some carriages. Now I'm going to start sort of near the vanishing point because I want to make sure I've got room for the front of the train here. So I'm going to sketch in some vertical lines here for a carriage. Now obviously everything that is vertical will stay vertical and perpendicular, so keep those bits straight. And I might do a few more and they get closer together as they disappear, remember, show that distance. Now the top of my carriages are going to be parallel to the horizon line, so I need to make sure my ruler is horizontal, and I'm going to go across to this next guideline that I've drawn and go back here and do the same horizontally, across, 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 and potentially another one there that I might just be able to see in the distance. And as you can see, it's starting to look like little carriages. And obviously this one I can, if I just draw a couple of quick lines from this point and joining down this point, can make it look more like a cuboid. And obviously we're going to have the main train in front of this here. But we now have some basic carriages. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could keep these as little houses if you want to draw houses, or whatever you fancy drawing today. And now we need to think about our cylinder. So the front of the train is a circle. It needs to fill these 2 points because it's going to be the same height as my carriages. So I'm going to draw a rough circle here. Just going to go over it a few times, doesn't matter if I've got many lines, just sketch it in. So it's roughly cylindrical there. And then I follow my guideline back here, and I can draw a smaller circle. Doesn't matter if I'm overlapping this, but as long as it's touching these 2 points here, so it's the same, because it's exactly the same line, following the same line there, like so. Then, if I go over that, so I'm going to follow that guideline down, and then I can go round my circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then follow the guideline along here, and then round the back of that circle. And now I've got, if I slowly pull this around, and I've got the front of my train. And there's going to be the cylinder part here. Now I could use this line to add a little chimney on top. Now the chimney is going to be upright, so I need to make sure it's vertical. So I might draw 2 lines like so on top of the train, and as it's curved, this base line is going to curve with that circle. And I could, just like on the Hogwarts Express, it's got like a little cap to it. I could draw a little cap and sketch that bit in there like that. I could even make it slightly more 3D and following these guidelines coming out, sketch it up however you want to do it. I'll tell you what next we'll do is some windows. So again, all the windows are going to be vertical lines going along. So I'm going to draw 2 windows in that carriage. So we've got each side, and then using my vanishing point, this is the important part, line your ruler up with that vanishing point, and then do the tops of the windows, and then keep it lined up with the vanishing point and twist it down and do the bottoms of the windows. Okay, so you can see those windows there fit in with the shape of the train. And for example, this one I could fill it with coal, so I could just do a load of colour in and say this carriage is going to be full of coal. So that one hasn't got anyone in it, but it might have a stripe across it. So again, I'm going to use my vanishing point, and I'm going to keep my ruler on the vanishing point and draw my stripe across it. And I might colour that in whatever colour I fancy. Okay, then I can add some more windows. So again, using my vanishing point, I'm going to draw the tops of the windows on these two carriages, and just getting a bit smaller, the bottoms of the windows, like so, and then keeping these vertical lines, so right angle to that horizon line. There we go, got some windows disappearing off. Okay, now we've got a little bit of a platform here, and I could, if I wanted to, go to my vanishing point and just add a little bit more of a gap. So this is like the please mind the gap, and you can write that if you want to, part of the platform. And then down here we might see a little bit more of the train. So I could add some lines coming down here following the carriage lines, and that could go under there, for example, and you might even see the edge of a wheel just tucked in there. And obviously this bit's going to be all machinery. By the looks of my picture, it's all just quite dark there. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to add, I think, is maybe a little bit, using my vanishing point, I'm going to sketch in a little guideline for something a little bit shorter. So it's going to stop about there. I'm going to draw, keeping it in line with my horizon line, draw a little top to my cylinder. It goes straight down, curve it round, and that's where all the steam's going to come out of the steam engine. So it might shade it in so it's quite dark, and then get some steam coming out of it. Now, the front of the train, okay, might have some extra bits. So what I can draw is, using some of the guidelines, so I can just extend them lightly, is we've got a curved part here, and then again using the horizon line straight across the front, and you're probably going to just see that because obviously this is the edge of our platform, and straight across, and again vertical, vertical, and horizontal, and that'd be our front part. Now I know trains have those little buffers at the front that I can add on to that bit there, and that bit you'll be able to see goes down. Might add a little section in there, etc. And I know Hogwarts Express has got a light at the front, so I might draw a little circular light. Again, similar to what I did with this cylinder, we're gonna, those two little lines are going to go back roughly towards that vanishing point and then curve round, and there's our little light. And then it's also got a badge going across, so I'm going to draw that roughly across the top. So I'm going to sketch that in there, and that says Hogwarts Express. Oh, too many S's, got too excited. And there you have your train. I'll rub this section here out so then you'll be able to see the cylinder a bit better, but I might add in some bars around my cylinder there, like so. There's all sorts of things you can add in. You can add a little roof if you want, just as long as everything's going back towards that vanishing point. Okay, we can add trees in the background, so these might come up, etc.